What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along. You probably always see me have a quick glance down because no matter how many times I think I've turned my microphone off mute, the amount of times that I've looked down and gone, uh-oh. And it always happens when you do a good intro. So at least today I messed up the intro, but the mic was on, so that's a win. I hope you're all in great form. I'm in fine form today. Looking forward to catching up with you guys. Loads to go through tonight. We'll be talking a little bit about Jurgen Klopp's farewell last night at the M&S Bank Arena. Looked like a wonderful event if you were lucky enough to be there. I hope you had a wonderful time. We're going to be talking about the title of tonight's stream. And genuinely, I woke up today and I did not think I would be sitting here this evening discussing the possibility of Kvaratskhelia and Liverpool. But over in Italy, there seems to be a little bit of chatter about Liverpool and Paris Saint-Germain maybe looking to rescue, I believe was the word they used, Kvaratskhelia from Napoli. We're going to be speaking about Somerville and why Liverpool aren't the favourites to sign him, with the bookies anyway. A little bit more about a player who I brought to you guys a few days ago and has now started to become more and more spoken about, and that is Ederson. Now, not Manchester City's goalkeeper, of course, but the Ederson from Atalanta. So we'll be going through that. We'll be talking about a call-up for Ryan Gravenberch and a couple of others for the Dutch national team. A little bit on Piero Nkapia, a bit on Caoimhin Kelleher, and a bit about whatever else you guys want to discuss. Of course, now, I can't start the show without reminding you again that there is just 2 days to go until we are live in Belfast. The set list has been figured out, the songs have been figured out, my segments have been figured out. All that remains is for us to go up to Belfast on Friday, enjoy ourselves, hopefully put on a good show for you guys who are lucky enough to, I say lucky enough, I'm going to stick with lucky enough, who are lucky enough to come and see a really, really, really great guy who's Paddy doing the singing, and then I'll be there as well just to make up the numbers. So if you do want to come and see us, don't forget you can get your tickets on Ticketmaster. And if you want to come to the Cardiff or Liverpool shows, do not hang around for these ones, folks, because unlike the shows in Ireland, the ones in the UK, the tickets are doing really well. So if you want to come and see us, you can use the link at the top of the chat. And I appreciate everyone who's bought tickets so far as well. Always love to get that notification for the Cardiff venue that somebody else has bought a ticket. And I hope to put on a great show for you guys there as well. But tonight, let's get cracking because there is a load to get through. We will start off, if you don't mind, with a little conversation around more reports coming out of Italy, but this time the Daily Mirror have run with this one to say, reports in Italy suggest Liverpool took a liking to Atalanta midfielder Ederson on a scouting mission with his teammate Tying Koopmeiners, who of course Liverpool are well documented as having looked at. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you to Mark as well, who gifted a membership. I didn't forget about that one. So Mark, thank you, mate, for gifting that membership. That one has gone to Michael, which I'm sure is appreciated. So, let's get going. What do we want to discuss first? What subject do we want to kick off with? And don't say Kvaratskhelia, because we got to have the foreplay. We got to tickle it a little bit before we get straight into the action. So, let's go through. Let's talk about Jurgen Klopp last night, actually, for a moment. But before I do, there she is, the mother of the channel, Mammy Liz. Lovely to see you, my friend. I hope you are well over in Florida. Hope that you are all having an awesome show. Much love to you, Ian, and the family, Liz. Great to see you in the chat, and I hope life is treating you well. Always lovely to see you pop in. Hope that your recovery as well is going as well as can be expected. Nkapia, right, let's go with call-ups. I love it. Loads to go through. Let's start about Jurgen Klopp. If you don't mind indulging me for a minute. A little bit on Kloppo last night, because he did say a couple of things that we've been looking to hear answers from Jurgen about, and some of the questions put to him, he probably would have been told not to answer, but he answered anyway. One of the things Jurgen said is, can anyone imagine Liverpool as a club with endless money? It is not us. We won what we won, and we did it the Liverpool way. The owners are good people. We should be really happy that we have these owners and not guys who bought London clubs. I felt supported. We did it as well as we could, and I'm fine with it. He also, of course, went on to say that if Manchester City were stripped of their titles and some of them were handed out to Liverpool, he'd be back for the bus parade in a heartbeat. And I think he also confirmed that he's going to stay on as an ambassador for the club and as somebody working with the club's foundation as well. So great news from last night's event. The pictures and images and stuff that we'd seen, you could see Jurgen very emotional. But well done to everyone who attended and gave Jurgen the send-off that, of course, he most Absolutely deserved. Right, what else will we get into? Let's start off with... I'm going to move on to talk about what you guys suggested in a second. Just one more super chat's come in. Hey Craig, birthday tomorrow, 15. How are you? I wish I was 15, George. Let me say that, bro. Enjoy these years because they are some of the best years of your life, my man. 15, not a care in the world. God, I'd love it. But happy birthday to you, my friend, and I hope you have a wonderful day tomorrow. And as you can probably tell, I'm in a great mood today. Yeah, really, really good form. I think I'm just excited to get up to Belfast on Friday as well. Usually I feel fear when I'm doing these shows, but for this one, I'm just feeling excited and looking forward to it. Little bit on Manchester United. No, I know we're not a Manchester United fan channel. You may be aware of that. But there's still lots of news around United that I find interesting. And today, Sky Sports have posted Manchester United's entire non-footballing staff have been invited to take redundancy in an email sent across the club on Tuesday afternoon, according to The Athletic. So Jim Ratcliffe seems to come in and be just cutting all the fat and trimming all the excess off and offering a load of redundancies to Manchester United's non-playing staff. It is really ruthless what he seems to be doing there. I mean, he cut some of the perks as well for the FA Cup final. So definitely an interesting situation to keep an eye on there at United, because I think it's going to be fun for us to look at and laugh. Craig, your hair looks like it's grown, bud. I can see some of what you're using. No, I shaved that yesterday. That's why I say to you guys I have to shave my head every 36 hours. I already have to shave it again. Just proof again that I am actually bald, as I've said to you many times. Right, so, a little bit on Caoimhin. Caoimhin Kelleher has been speaking about his life at Liverpool and about what the future might hold. And I think it probably gives us the biggest hint ever that he will depart this summer. This is what he's had to say. My main ambition is to be a number one. And it would be great if that happened at Liverpool. But I'm not silly. And by that he must mean he's got the best goalkeeper in the world ahead of him in Mr. Alisson Becker. I feel like I've done my years as a number two. Ambition now is to become a number one. I'm ready and capable. There will be some discussions over the coming weeks. The club was busy with the manager leaving and appointing a new one. With all the new staff arriving, those talks will happen. So that sounds to me like Caoimhin is gearing up for a move away. And look, I understand it. And I think most of you guys will as well. Selfishly, I'd love him to stay. I love having an Irishman as part of the Liverpool squad. I love having an Irish goalkeeper as part of the Liverpool squad. But if I was in Caoimhin's position, or if I was a friend of his, I would be advising him to go and become a number one as well, because it's a short career. And he has proven he can do it. And I think Liverpool will probably, if they get the right offer, and I think that offer, guessing here, will be about 20 to 25 million pound, and I think he'd be worth every penny of it. So let's wait and see what happens over the summer with regards to Caoimhin. Jurgen Klopp was speaking about why he also announced his decision to leave when he did, or at least announced why he was leaving when he did, and said, imagine we played against Wolves, the families were walking around, and then I said, oh, by the way, I'm fucking off, and that was his words, by the way, so don't come at me for swearing. That doesn't work, the club would have problems. So again, Jurgen speaking about why he said what he said when he said it. So let's drop into the chat for a little bit. Craig, Chelsea favourites to sign Somerville, but apparently he wants to join us for Champions League football. Well, yes, I was going to move on to talk about Somerville in a while, but you've brought the subject up, so let's talk about what you've said. I did believe Liverpool were probably one of the favourites for Somerville, but the bookies, at least with Sky Bet, have the odds a little bit different. So this says Liverpool are currently considered the second likeliest destination for Crescencio Somerville. The Leeds United star could well move on in the coming weeks as Leeds face the unwanted prospect of selling their star player to raise funds. Sky Bet make Chelsea favourites to recruit the Dutchman at 6-4, with Liverpool second on the list at 10-3. So you could look at this in two ways. One, that Chelsea might be favourites. But let's not forget, Chelsea are also linked to Elise. So does that mean that maybe they're stepping away? Is Elise's price tag a little bit too much for Chelsea at this moment in time? And do they feel like maybe Crescencio Somerville could be a cheaper option? Because if that's the case, I'd be really excited if Liverpool were in and around the conversation for Elise. But I haven't seen anything concrete yet to suggest that. Now, we're going to talk about Kvaratskhelia in a little bit. And the links have surprised me, but as always on this channel, when the links are out there in the media, we talk about them. So I'm going to move on to talk about him in a second, but I'm going to just ask a simple question, Ben, if I can, if you're in the background. Would you be upset if Liverpool missed out on Somerville? Yes or no poll, please, Ben. Ben's producing the show for me tonight as well, so Ben will be in the background bringing up all your super chats and stuff on screen. As you can see with our new video printer as well, we're able to bring up some X posts and stuff like that as well. So make sure that if you are using social media, you tag Anfield Agenda in there and we can help share your posts and stuff on here as well. Who is the guy with the long name? Yeah, it is a long name. You are right. It is mad. My science teacher used to always say to me, you all struggle with the likes of mitochondria and whatever, but if they played for United or Liverpool, you'd know all their names inside out. And he was probably right. So, Kvaratskhelia is the one you're speaking about, also known as Kvaradonna, also known as the Georgian Messi, and we will move on to talk about him. He's a Napoli winger who looks like he could be departing this summer. So, would you be upset if Liverpool missed out on Somerville? The poll is up, first one of the night. You guys have a crack at it and we'll keep an eye on it in a few minutes. I'd rather Leao than Kvara, said Umar. I think I'd agree with you, but it feels like Leao could be open to a move to Saudi, especially with some of the wage numbers that have been bandied about. Excuse me. I do believe Rafa Leao signed a new deal last season at AC Milan, but I agree. I would probably prefer Rafa Leao as well, but I've not seen us really mentioned with them. Whereas Kvaratskhelia, I think a couple of things would have to happen, and again, I'm going to move on to talk about what those might have to be in a couple of minutes. I just want to get some of your comments here. So, I Love Joe Gomez said, if we got Elise, then no, he wouldn't be upset about Somerville. Michael said, not really. Being told we have 300 million to spend, said Paul Cartwright. Oh, dude, could you imagine? Oh, can you imagine what Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes could do with 300 million pound, mate? Woo! I'm already getting, well, I know kids are watching. Let's just say I'm already getting excited about the prospect of that amount of money. Leao is way too expensive, said Mino. Leao is very inconsistent, said Tariq17. Who's ready for the Arne Slot first day video? Oh, I am. Whose name? I am, mate. I'm very much excited for it. And I'm expecting to hear something on the 1st of June, the day he officially starts work, which is Saturday. So I'm interested to see what that first bit of content, shall we say, from Arne Slot is going to be like. Name a car for an edit, please. Cool. I'm going to give you a car for an edit. I'm going to think of something quite funky. Do a Porsche Panamera. There you go. That's my suggestion. Hey Craig, hope you're well. Thank you, Jack. I am indeed, my friend. Do you think Kudus would be the ideal signing? Reminds me of Mané so much. So, I guess the question is, the ideal signing for which position? I love Kudus. I think most of us in the chat here would be fans of Kudus. But if we're looking to fulfill a certain role, let's say the right wing, I still stand over Jared Bowen being the ideal one, albeit probably unlikely because of the 7-year contract he signed at West Ham, because of his age, and of course because of the wage, or not the wage, the transfer fee that would probably take. But I think most people in the chat, mate, would be very happy with Kudus. Again, we say this quite often, but Kudus and Van de Ven, Ugarte, they all feel like ones that Liverpool maybe will regret not having a look at before they went to the likes of West Ham, PSG and whatnot. I'd say John W. Henry would be in tears if we spent 300 million, said Adam Brown. It depends. If you could say to him, John, spend this 300 million and it will add 350 million's worth of value in the longer term, then maybe he wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know John W. Henry. I was going to say well enough. I mean, Jace, I don't know him at all. Praying that FSG backs Slot to help him build his own team, said Sean Handley. Thank you for that one, Sean. 300 million, said Stephen Roscott, to put towards the Mbappe wages. On that, the Rodrigo situation's getting a little bit weird. So there's been some stuff that Rodrigo is now trying to claim maybe taken out of context. You've seen the Fabrizio Romano post yesterday. But what we do know is it's almost certain that Kylian Mbappe will be joining Real Madrid this summer. And that does pose a question to, can they keep all these players happy? Will they all get enough game time? And will one of them have to move on? And I've seen so many competing and different stories around Rodrigo. But his own words, he came out and said, where are we? Hang on. No, these aren't his own words, apparently. Excuse me. So this piece said, Kylian Mbappe's impending arrival at Real Madrid could inadvertently help Liverpool out in the transfer market. This is being posted by El Nacional, who I believe are a Spanish outlet. While the Reds have been persistently linked with a move for Kylian Mbappe, Arne Slot's side are now being linked with a move for Real Madrid forward Rodrigo. A latest report by El Nacional has explained that the Brazilian has many doubts about his future due to Mbappe, and is clear his place in the side is likely to be taken by the Frenchman. Now, you can kind of juxtapose that with comments from the player himself, who have said he's really happy at Real Madrid. He, signed for Real Madrid for a reason, and I get all of that. But football's a ruthless game, and Rodrigo had a very good breakthrough. I call it last year his breakthrough campaign, because I feel like he really stepped up last year. And it might not be his decision. If they do bring in Mbappe, and then they've got Vinny Jr., Valverde, Bellingham, Endrick, so many others as well. What I'm going to ask is, do you think there's any chance? Now, remember, we were in for Rodrigo when he was at Santos, and we nearly had a £3 million deal done, which, imagine we got that done for £3 million, by the way. And he turned us down, stayed at Santos, and eventually got a move to Real Madrid. And I've absolutely every belief that he wants to stay at Real Madrid, and I've every belief that he loves Real Madrid. But I've every belief that he'll also want to play football, and if he got spoken some harsh words, then maybe he'll change his mind. Toxic Editor, why do I keep getting muted? I've no idea, but I'm sure the moderators have a reason. You were being a bit weird yesterday, mate, and maybe the moderators feel like that weird behaviour is carried on into today, but I haven't muted anybody on this stream yet, mate, because I've been trying to just pay attention to what I'm doing. So I'm sure one of the mods will explain it to you. So anyway, on Rodrigo, it would be amazing, in my opinion, if we could get him in. I keep coming back to the same thing. We don't usually do business with Real Madrid buying. Like, when's the last time we bought from Madrid or Barcelona? But if there was a chance, I'd take it in a heartbeat. But I think a couple of things would have to happen. So one of those things would, of course, be Mohamed Salah. And I read another piece today from Mark Lawrenson, former Liverpool player, former Match of the Day pundit, who also believes that Mohamed Salah is likely to depart this summer. I think this is now a battle for hearts and minds between Mohamed Salah's camp and Liverpool's camp. Liverpool being respectful, Salah's camp being respectful, but both putting out statements about, I want to win trophies next year, talking about the future, that lovely post from Liverpool with Salah yesterday. I just can't accept that Liverpool will be willing to let him leave for free. I just don't see a world where that makes any sense. Right, so I've been told, Toxic Edits, that you've posted the same comment 4 times in 4 minutes, and that's why you were timed out. So I told you you'd get a response from the lads, and I back my moderators 100%. They're the lifeblood of the channel for me, and they help me get through all the streams. So you've got your answer, mate. I hope you understand it, and by that I mean I hope you understand where we're coming from. Right, Craig, I see there are reports surfacing again about Khvicha Kvaratskhelia. Supposedly Nice only won 13 million. What's your thoughts? I did see similar reports. I have to say I haven't seen anything myself recently, but I'm going back maybe 2 weeks. Look, there's 2 ways to look at it. Khvicha Kvaratskhelia at 13 million quid is a bargain. But the answer that I would like to, or the question, that I would like to pose back to you is he the best solution? Or is he a cheap solution? If the answer is he's the best solution, brilliant. But I don't think it is. I think the answer would be value. And that's okay as well. But we're not short in midfield anymore. We need a player to come in that anchor role. And I'm going to call it an anchor role because I don't know if it'll be as a DM or as part of a double pivot, depending on how Arne Slot goes about setting us up. And I think there's better value. Even go and spending more money. I'm all in, 100%, head over heels, want Ederson. And every day it just increases. And every day the stories linking Ederson with Liverpool are increasing. So another one that comes up from Tudor Sport, an Italian outlet, say, Liverpool sent scouts over to watch tying coop miners. However, it appears they may have had their heads turned by another Atalanta midfielder, Ederson, who impressed on those scouting trips. Now, on my little brief bits of communication with journalists that I keep in contact with and stuff like that, I think that this is definitely something that could potentially happen. I'm not going to tell you it will happen because I'll be a liar saying that to you. But about 40 million quid, younger than coop miners, more defensively minded than coop miners, I think Ederson would be a very, very astute piece of business for Liverpool Football Club. And I'm all in. This is my guy. This is the guy I'd like Liverpool to bring in that anchor role in midfield. Dwayne said, Kvaratskhelia will take us to glory. Cool. And I'm going to move on. Don't worry, I'm not just, teasing you. I'm going to get on to talk about Kvaratskhelia in a couple of moments. Quaggy, waggy, woo-hoo. Woo-hoo! Love that. Woo-hoo! Welcome in. Did you know that Everton played at Anfield before? I want your opinion on it. Yes, of course I know that Everton played at Anfield before, and they couldn't afford the rent, I believe. And they moved off and Liverpool took it over and the rest is history. But yes, of course, mate. Did you know that Anfield was named after a place in Wexford in Ireland? Did you know that much? So yes, I did know that, but always open to any little tidbits of info like that or any fun facts that you guys have. Anakin Skywalker, I don't think it's the real one, but said, hate to say it, however, I wish we got Højlund. I think he has great potential. He absolutely has great potential, but Manchester United absolutely overpaid. Does it mean he won't come good? I like Højlund. I think he's a very, very good player, and I think he worked really hard for the shirt and will always put in a good shift there at United. But I do feel like they overpaid, and I feel like Atalanta know that United overpaid. But he will come good. I have no doubts about that. I agree with you on it. He's a very good player. But we have our boy, Darwin. So let's get behind him. Craig, you missed 2 super chats. Okie dokie. Let me scroll back up. LFC Love. What a name, by the way. Thank you for gifting 5 Anfield Agenda memberships. You're very kind. Mahmood, my friend, how are you? Looks like Slot only got 2 to 3 weeks to work with the squad due to international duties. Isn't that a bit concerning? It is. But look at it another way. Other clubs who are bringing in new managers now are still playing catch-up. So Chelsea, as an example. United don't know what they're doing with their gaffer yet. So there are other clubs, Brighton, searching. So in some ways, yes, it's a concern. But in other ways, at least now we have a team in place and we can start looking forward. And the recruitment stuff would have been being done in the background anyway by the likes of Michael Edwards, Richard Hughes, Julian Ward, Dave Fallows, Barry Hunter, the rest of the Liverpool recruitment team. And so where was the other super chat that apparently I missed? Let me scroll up. I think I've read the rest of them, mate. I think I've read the rest of them. Morganski, member for 3 months. Thank you, bro. Somebody said 300 mil Mbappe train. Choo choo. You know me. Love a train. Love a train. But I'm not getting on the Mbappe train. I think that train's derailed and has stopped in Madrid. Thoughts on Kudus? Keep up the great work, legends. Thank you, Michael. I love Kudus. And I think most of us in the chat would very happily have Kudus. But the real question that I'd like to see answered on Kudus is when that release clause is achievable. So we've heard that there's a release clause in there. David Ornstein of The Athletic has said that Paqueta and Kudus have a release clause. But is that release clause something that's going to come out or be triggerable this year or next year? Some West Ham fan accounts that I've seen seem to believe that the release clause doesn't kick in till next year and that it's about £85 million. So I don't know. If there's no release clause, I don't feel West Ham will sell. We also have to remember that West Ham have just got a new manager in Julian Lopetegui, and he's not going to want to be asset stripped that early in his managerial career either, but let's wait and see. If there's a release clause there and it is available this summer, it would be interesting. I think I've caught up with all the other ones. Do hit the like button for me, my friends, if you can. Real early doors. We've great numbers in tonight. There's 1,800 people in the chat. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do as well. And yeah. So, I want to play a little game for a moment. Excuse me. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you have got a ticket to one of our last ever live shows. I want to know if people are watching who've got the tickets, or if they're people perhaps who don't watch regularly but are coming along anyway. So if you've got a ticket to Belfast, which is coming up in 2 days, can't wait, 2 days. If you've got a ticket to Liverpool or Cardiff, give me a thumbs up in the chat to let me know, because I can't wait to meet you guys and say hello. I've done the Kvaratskhelia one. Who remembers Joe Flanagan? John Flanagan, I think is what you meant. Yes, I don't have fond memories of John Flanagan because of that thing that happened with his girlfriend. Yeah, I'm not going to go into it, so have a read of it. Look at the thumbs down. Why don't you just say, I hate you, Craig? Jokes. Scouser, you're not coming. Your name's Scouser and you're not coming. Come on, dude. It's in Liverpool. Hot Water Comedy Club, let's go. Mary's coming to Belfast, we know that one. I'm 15 and live in America, so I can't. I mean, that's just an excuse, Steve. And if you started running now, I'm sure you'd make the Liverpool show. Only joking, bro. And appreciate your support of the channel as always. Danny Plays Football is coming. We love that. Your ma is coming. There you go. Your ma, the most Irish phrase ever. I'm actually from Derry. Yay, welcome in. Adam Cooper said, me and Steph are coming to Liverpool. Love that. Dave Sharples, I know you're coming, bro. Lewis Carpenter's coming to Cardiff. Nice. I'm actually from Derry. We've got that one up already. Thado Neymar. Nice. Grant's from Brisbane. You're not coming from Brisbane, Grant. Now, come on. That'll be a bit, that'll be a bit mad. In a good way. Hope we get to see Klopp manage LFC Legends game. Oh, that's a great show. That's a great show, Harry. And I think it might happen, last night, I love when Jurgen talks about it as us. And he believes now he's the third Scouser to have sold out the M&S Bank Arena after Jamie Webster and Sir Paul McCartney. Fabrizio Romano has just posted to say, Real Madrid plan to formally complete and announce Kylian Mbappe deal before the Euros won't be and can't be limited by PSG. Despite PSG's contract expiring in June, Mbappe can announce before Euro 2024. Real are currently fully focused on Wembley and, of course, that Champions League final, where I think we'll all agree they're going to lose to Dortmund, right? Or is that wishful thinking? Brian's coming to Belfast. Thank you, Paul. Byrne isn't coming. Boo for Paul. Boo. Jokes, Paul, jokes. Aaron Louis coming, and Colin Brooks is coming. Nice. Want to give a shout out as well to my good friend whose channel raided us last night in a good way. Lee Gunner, always. Look, Lee Gunner is like me. He says what he wants, says what's on his mind, doesn't hold back. But I tell you one thing, he's a good friend. He is a good friend, and I'm proud to call him one. So if you don't check out Lee's content, please do, but not when we're live, of course. And if you ever do drop into Lee's channel, do say you're from Anfield Agenda and let him know we say hello as well. I was messaging with him earlier on. He's a good guy. He really is a good guy. I know he's outspoken, but he's a good fella, and he's been a good friend to me as well for my time here on YouTube. Damn, the train has exploded. Woo woo. Morganski, we love it. Carl, how are you? I'm gutted I can't come to the live show. Sorry, so busy with work. Someday we'll meet, Carl. Someday, my man. You were very kind. I remember the first ever meet and greet we did at the Beer Keller in Liverpool. Carl put 50 quid behind the bar for everyone to have a drink. He's such a nice guy. And someday, mate, we will get to meet up. Someday. What? No, Mbappe? What happened? I just said no, basically, Colin, John rang me and he said, Craigo, what do you think with this Mbappe stuff? I said, look, come here to me, John. I know I'll call you tight and all, mate, but I do think there's better value around than this Mbappe fella. He's getting on in years now, John, and he said, Craig, you're right. And he called it a day, and that's why Mbappe isn't signing for Liverpool. So it's down to me. You're welcome. Or you hate me, one or the other. Craig, in the previous video, you mentioned news. Can you say what it is? Well, firstly, Benjamin, thank you for watching the video. And yes, I can say what it is. It is Kvaratskhelia. And that's where we're going to talk right now. So, today news started to break of Liverpool's apparent interest in Kvaratskhelia. And I held off earlier on today because I wanted to do a bit more research on it. So the first report I seen came from... Where was this first one? Bear with me 1 second. Sorry, I'm scrolling through my notes here. So the first report I seen came out of Italy and said that Liverpool and PSG were having a look at Kvaratskhelia. And then another report came out also of Italy. This time it says Liverpool were looking at Kvaratskhelia as far back as April time. And they now say Paris Saint-Germain are claimed to have already tabled an, what's this, is €80 million offer for the Georgian winger. The agent of the 23-year-old confirmed that the Parisians had made an attempt to bring the attacker to league. So it looks like he's available. And if PSG are starting the bidding at €80 million, I'd like to think Liverpool are in there as well. I don't know. I haven't been able to confirm if Liverpool are serious, but I have been able to confirm that he is somebody who was being discussed, whether briefly or in depth, I don't know. So I want to know from you guys, do you think Kvaratskhelia would be worth potentially €100 million? Because I don't think the 80 million offer from PSG is going to be accepted. And I also think he'd be crazy to go to PSG. If he's serious about wanting to win stuff, he's won Serie A with Napoli. Napoli fell off this year, nowhere near the same. And it looks like they're going to probably sell Osimhen and maybe Kvaratskhelia this summer. So the question, I'm sure Ben's going to put this to a poll, is, do you think there's any chance of Liverpool signing Kvaratskhelia? I just want to think how realistic you guys think it might be. Because I really don't know. Normally, I say, not a hope that we spend money. Not a hope we spend that level. But I have to as well revert back to the fact that, at least publicly, we were willing to spend £115 million or about €135 million to sign Moise Caicedo before Chelsea did. And I also want to draw your attention to the fact that there are a lot of clubs across Europe and in England who do have profit and sustainability, or FFP, worries coming into this summer and the year end, the current business year end. So it is a buyer's market at the minute, because clubs with cash on hand are few and far between. As you know, a lot of deals these days are structured in payments over 3, 4, 5 years or whatever. Liverpool are one of the few clubs that have real wiggle room to operate. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to go big, but I want you to know that we can. It is possible. We do have the means to do it. This came in earlier on. We discussed it a little bit as well from last night, where Jurgen Klopp was confirmed is still going to be an ambassador of Liverpool and that he will be involved with the club's foundation, which is great as well. Lovely to see that from Jurgen. Not being too impressive, said Joy K. Hell no, what in the Anthony Gordon 100 million are these prices? I know, the Anthony Gordon one is crazy. At least with Anthony Gordon, though, you could look at it and think homegrown does come with a premium. But yeah, I think 100 million for Anthony Gordon's ludicrous. Kvaratskhelia, remember we're talking euros here, so it would probably be about 80, 81 million pounds, something like that. I'm on the fence. I know there's a lot of people that rate Kvaratskhelia far higher than me. I think that he is not in the world-class proven category yet, but is very much in the could be world-class, just needs a bit more consistency. Napoli weren't themselves after winning Serie A. They were nowhere near the force they were the year before. And they all dropped off a bit. Osimhen dropped off, Kvaratskhelia had some injury concerns. But nobody can deny the potential. of the kid. And what age is he? 24, Kvaratskhelia? If, again, somebody in the chat will fill me in on this one if I'm wrong. I do think it's within our budgetary restraints. But let me pitch you a different story. Let's say, as an example, PSG want a left winger, and PSG come in for Diaz, and Diaz's head is turned. Because there's been a lot of stories linking Lucho with a move away. Barcelona and PSG are the two main protagonists in these conversations. So, if PSG came in for him, I mean, I can't lie, lads, I'd take that money and spend it on Kvaratskhelia if there was a chance to do that. I don't want to move Lucho on, but I just get the feeling that he has his eyes set on a move from all of these links away. If it was just Barcelona, I think maybe it's Barcelona just trying to play a bit of shenanigans, but let's wait and see what happens. And I also want to speak about, again, I'm sorry, but Mohamed Salah in a little while as well. I'd rather get Elise or Eze. Elise would be for the other side. Elise would be for the Mohamed Salah side of the pitch. And at £60 million, there's a bargain to be had there massively. Somebody's getting a bargain. Another piece that's just been sent to me from Dario AS, crediting Dario AS, is that Liverpool are keen on Bruno Guimaraes. The Reds are said to have asked about the Brazilian earlier this year. Well, they have him on their road map as the plan for a new season after Jurgen Klopp. So look, I don't think Bruno Guimaraes is worth 100 million quid. I've said this many times. But do I think Bruno Guimaraes is a good player? Yes, sir. Absolutely. And that would be a statement. Because I've banged on about Arsenal going out and doing it. Manchester City did it when they brought Rodri in from Atletico Madrid. Chelsea have done it with Caicedo and Enzo. It is at that point now where if we want to really challenge, we're going to have a top quality shield, anchor, defensive midfielder. Personally, you know I love Ederson. But we also know that Newcastle may have to sell and that there is a release clause for Guimaraes that could be triggered over 3 years, 33 or 34 million, 33 million, 33 million, something like that. So I don't know where we're at with it. Like if we're looking at 4 maybe options, there's Ugarte who could be available because he's fallen out of favour at PSG. We've got Ederson from Atalanta. Bruno Guimaraes there perhaps. People mentioned Kefren Thuram earlier on. And that ranges from like 13 million quid all the way up to maybe 100 million quid. I think right winger is a higher priority than left wing. I agree, unless we lose somebody on the left wing. I like the idea of giving Cody a chance on the left wing anyway. So I'm open to the idea that if Liverpool lost a wide player, that we still have Cody, let's say, for the left, and that we could bring in somebody who can play across the front line in a few different positions, whether that is a Kudus, a Bowen, or somebody else quite flexible. Tactically, I mean flexible. I don't really care if they can do yoga in the downward facing dog or whatever. What's this? Arne Slot will officially begin his head coach role at Liverpool in just a few days with an important summer on the horizon. After nearly a decade in charge, Jurgen Klopp has now departed, blah blah blah. Liverpool completed a number of marquee transfers, particularly in midfield. President doubtful of transfer ideas, along with returning Michael Edwards. I don't know where he wants me to go with that one. I've kind of sidetracked myself here for a second, sorry. So yeah, midfield. Let's talk midfield. Is there a chance of Kvaratskhelia signing for Liverpool? Yes, no. Are you crazy? No. So 64% are going with no. There's no chance so far for Kvaratskhelia, but we'll leave that running. If you're looking at the media, defensive midfielder seems to be a position that people believe that we need to sign somebody in. But there's also people like David Lynch who feel like, yes, we could do with a defensive midfielder, but we're also stocked in midfield. Which raises the question, do you have a midfield addition after you sell somebody? Now, I got in trouble yesterday for bringing up the name Curtis Jones. Some people jumped and said, no, but we have to be adults here. Sometimes you do have to sell players. And it's difficult to keep a squad happy. I feel like if we want to challenge, we need to help defensively. And that defensive help comes from a couple of positions. Defensive midfielder, or at least a deep-lying midfielder. And, of course, another centre-back. Both are preferences for me. Centre-back, central midfielder, and an attacking / versatile forward. That's where I think we're lacking. And that's before we move into the conversations about the likes of left-back, where I don't think Costas will do it, but maybe Ownbeck or Luke Chambers would. Can Kvaratskhelia play right wing? Of course. I know we love an inverted forward these days, but of course he can play on the right wing. Same way Mané moved from the right wing to the left wing and then had a brilliant career on the left side of our attack. Forwards can move around, of course they can. Trigger said, big up to the Anfield Agenda moderators. Thank you, mate. Our moderators are amazing, and I wouldn't be able to do what I do without them. So I'm glad that you acknowledge them. Thank you for that. Craig, can't wait for Liverpool 2.0. I'm excited, lads. I'm really excited. One, I'm really buzzing to be here with you guys tonight because I'm in great form today. And when I'm in good form, I look forward to coming in and chatting with you guys in the chat. And we've a load to get through. I'm going to stay on till 10:30. So we've a load of time. Get your questions and comments in. We're going to go through our news sources as well. There is a little bit of an update with regards to a potential problem with one of the backroom staff for Arne Slot. This again coming out of a Feyenoord friendly publication in the Netherlands said Etienne Reinen, excuse my pronunciation again, does not yet have a work permit, which is no longer easy to obtain in England. Slot and Liverpool still want him to form part of the backroom staff, but there is a chance that he could stay at Feyenoord because of those work permit concerns. It is mad, isn't it? To think like going from the Netherlands now to the UK because of the whole Brexit thing. You've got the work permit concerns, but let's keep an eye on this one as of course Arne Slot starts to build out his backroom staff. Would I have Joe as a left back? As cover, yes. Permanently, no. I do weirdly think Joe looks far more attack-minded on the left side of the defence than he does on the right. Might be because of the cutting inside on his right foot. And if he does ever score a goal for us, it'll probably be coming in from that left-hand side. But no, I wouldn't like to rely on him. But let me pitch you this. I could see a world where we sell Costas, we keep Joe, of course, and then we look to Ownbeck or Luke Chambers to come in and supplement. Because I firmly believe that Ownbeck could be the left-hand side version of a Conor Bradley, who exploded onto the scene when Trent picked up his injury and underlined what I've been discussing for at least 18 months, that this kid is a real talent. Now, whilst I don't personally have enough knowledge of Ownbeck, the reports of his loan spells are glowing and he is very highly thought of, so he could very well be somebody who comes through into the first team. And again, if we moved on Costas, that could free us up some money. I say move on Costas with a heavy heart. I've nothing against Costas Tsimikas, nothing at all. He looks like he loves the football club, always seems like a sound fella. I know people who've bumped into him for photos and stuff, and he's always been lovely with them. I don't think he's going to make it. I don't think he's ever going to be the guy. And I think, again, his career will be relatively short and he'll want to play football. So he's somebody I think could be available to be sold this summer. Craig, did you see the video of Mini Robbo and Mini, I don't know what that is because I can't read it out, proven right on the football? I don't know what that means. Sorry, mate, that's gone over my head, Coach Bill. Jack Dempsey, thank you for your super chat, Jack. Really do appreciate it. Said, do you think when Klopp wanted Tchouaméni, he's seen him as a Gini replacement rather than a Fabinho replacement, as Fabinho had not fallen off at that time? No, I think he's seen him as a defensive midfielder, maybe as somebody to come in and rotate and compete with Fabinho for a while he got used to the league. Because remember, there's no guarantee if you sign a player, even of the quality of Arlie and Tchouaméni, that he's going to drop into the Premier League and hit the ground running. So if you could give somebody a year to work alongside somebody else and learn the ropes of the league, the pace of it, the culture, then maybe. But I would say you would look at him more from an out-and-out number 6 than maybe a 6.5 or an 8. I've been here years and watch every video. Thank you, Michael Casey. I really appreciate your support, my friend. We're just closing up towards 500 likes, folks, so please do hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Endo's kid and Robbo's kid were playing on the field in the last game. Oh, that's what you mean. Sorry. I love that last day of the season stuff. I love it. Usually Salah's daughter was one of the first ones out there banging in goals, just like Daddy. But yeah, I love it. Love last day of the season where you see the family and the little kids with their daddy's name on the shirt and stuff. It's yeah, it's always very wholesome end of the season to see stuff like that. What else we got? What's your opinions on Lenny Yoro, and do you think he will fit Slot's style of play? So Lenny Yoro is one of those that he would fit any damn style of play. He's really good. 18 years of age, been playing in top tier in France, I think, since 16. I do feel he's Real Madrid bound, in all honesty. I think Real Madrid have already put in an opening offer there. I read something yesterday saying it was about 24, 26 million, which seems lowball, but they also know the negotiating stance and the contract situation. So I don't think if Real Madrid are at the table, we're going to have any luck in that bid for Lenny Yoro, unless Michael Edwards pulls another incredibly astute piece of business out of his backside. But he's a really, 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 really good young centre-back. But I just don't... Maybe I'm wrong. I just don't think we're going to win that battle. And we usually don't like to go... We usually don't like to go head-to-head with clubs. We like to go about our business stealthily, move in, bing, bang, bosh, deal done. The only time we kind of did usurp somebody was when Spurs were looking at Diaz, and then Liverpool came in and got that done quickly. Any news on William Pacho? Yes, actually there is. 1 second. I'm going to have to mute for a second. I need to cough. Hang on. Yes, mate, there is a little bit on Pacho. Bear with me. Right, so a report that comes out of... Where does this come from? I read it on the Echo, but I don't know where the main source is. This says, Liverpool eye Bundesliga duo. Liverpool are reportedly targeting Bundesliga duo William Pacho and Piero Hincapié this summer. That's according to Christian Martin, who claims that the Reds are looking to bolster the Ecuadorian duo Pacho of Frankfurt and Hincapié of Leverkusen. Sky Germany had reported that Liverpool are one of a few Premier League sides to make contact with Pacho over a deal this summer, with Frankfurt holding out for a £40 million valuation for the 22-year-old. And the one on Piero Hincapié, we seen yesterday that some stuff coming from Leverkusen's media, not Leverkusen directly, but in and around Germany, said that if Jonathan Tah signs a new deal at Leverkusen, that they could be open to selling Piero Hincapié for about £60 million. So I guess the question to you guys would be, which one would be a better fit? Because I know of Hincapié, I don't know too much about Pacho. I can't say I've watched much of Frankfurt to know how good he would be. So if you could have one of those two at Liverpool, Pacho or Hincapié, which one are you going for? I mean, I don't know what Ben wants me to do with that thing that he just sent me there, but okie dokie. Craig, what's your dream summer window? I mean, I don't dream big, to be honest with you. I try to dream realistically. So, my dream window, Antonio Silva, Ederson from Atalanta, and any one of Nico Williams, Kudus, Bowen, or Elise for the wide/attacking position. I'm not fully sold on Kvaratskhelia as much as the links are starting to come from the Italian side anyway, that Liverpool are interested. That'll probably be it for me. I'd be very happy with like an Antonio Silva or somebody who I rate at centre back. Somebody who I believe is ready to come in and play and compete and rotate for Verge. So centre back, Ederson in that anchor role in midfield, and any of the four names that I mentioned as an attacking player would do rather nicely. Pacho's class would be my first choice centre back, said Krish. Pacho all day, every day. He's a beast, said Brian. Good. I'm so glad you guys are filling me in on this, because I gotta say I know zero about Pacho other than I like saying the name Pacho. Right, we're going to end the Kvaratskhelia poll now because we're closing in on 1,000 votes. So we asked you, is there a chance of Kvaratskhelia signing for Liverpool Football Club? Yes, no, or are you crazy? No. So 64% of you guys feel no chance of Liverpool signing Kvaratskhelia, and I would probably agree, but the links are growing. That's all I can say to you. A couple of things, like always, would have to fall into place to make these happen, but I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no if it was an option, but I think it would have to be Diaz leaving that would trigger it. Krish, thanks for answering my question. Been watching since 5k subs. Dude, I remember. I know you've been with us a long time, and I try to get through as many comments as I can. I promised somebody at the end of yesterday's stream I'd read out their comment today, but I haven't seen them in the stream yet, so I haven't been able to read it out. Louis said, or Louis, excuse me, Guidis said, has to be Pacho. Nkapie didn't look good. Let's get a poll on it, Benjamin. So, Nkapie or Pacho? Which one? If you'd be so kind, in the background, Mr. Benjamin. I still nearly call him Drawdy. It's so weird because I don't like saying Drawdy because it just reminds me of Manchester United, and of course Ben used to work with the United stand, well, help build the United stand. So I know him as Drawdy, but I don't think of him as Drawdy. I always just think of him as Ben. I won't tell you what I have him down as on my phone because I have nicknames for everybody on my phone. But yeah, if we could get that up in the background, that would be great, Ben. There he is. Look, bing bang bosh, straight away. Who would you want, Nkapie or Pacho? Hello, Craig. Just tuned in. What did I miss? A lot of stuff, to be fair, but don't worry. I will recap as we go through. I love you, Craig. Thank you, Krish. Very much appreciated. If anybody else loves Craig, don't forget to hit that subscribe button or drop a like on the video. What are your thoughts on Varela? So again, we spoke about Alan Varela yesterday. 60 odd million link for us, and who was, I'm going to scroll back because I can't remember if it was Bayern Munich or the other team that were linked with Barella or Varela. I think it was, but bear with me. Where is he? 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 Yes, here we go. So yeah, yesterday Liverpool and Bayern Munich have inquired about Alan Varela. That has been something that's been around for a year, maybe at this point, the Varela links. I would put it in the unlikely category, personally. But then again, I am absolutely biased that I want Ederson. So maybe I'm looking at it through those eyes. Could you swap Crystal Palace's front line for Liverpool's front line? No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. Look, there are players at Palace that I like, and obviously Eze, Elise, Mateta's starting to come good there, but no, I wouldn't swap it for our front line, mate. I take Elise and drop it into our front line, or drop him into our front line, but no, I wouldn't swap. Opinions on company to Bayern, said Krish. They've lost their damn minds, Krish, is my thoughts on that. Like, what has Vincent Kompany done to deserve a move to Bayern? He did really well getting Burnley up, then got them relegated. I don't know how he got on at Anderlecht when he was there or when he was at that club. I can't remember. But it feels like a really, really, really big gamble for a club that looked like they were only looking for a manager for a year. But he signed a 3-year contract there. So it'll be interesting. As a footballing guy, I think Vincent Kompany's a good footballing man. Broke our hearts with that goal that he scored for Manchester City. And obviously played for a club that, in my opinion, is rotten to the core. But good centre-back. And I just don't see him. I don't see it as a manager. I just don't see that he has that wow factor. But I guess we'll get to see this year if he can wrestle back the league title away from Xabi Alonso's Leverkusen. A Santino, how are you, my friend? Thank you for your super chat. Said, hello everybody. Would you rather buy players from South America or countries in Europe with weaker professional systems? South America, and here's why. This is a bit stereotypical, so excuse me on it, and I'm not trying to say everybody in every part of the world is in these conditions. But for me, when you get players coming in from South America, that desire and hunger is there. Look at Darwin's story and Darwin's pathway through to professional football. His mum used to collect and recycle, I think, milk bottles. His dad worked on a building site, all to try and allow Darwin to be able to continue to play football. And these guys come from real poverty sometimes, like a level of poverty that thankfully none of us will never have to, or most of us won't have to endure. So they usually support wide circles of people as well. And I always love the South American mindset of players coming in, whether it's an Argentinian, a Brazilian, a Uruguayan. I'm always on the mindset of there's something sexier about a South American player. So for me, I'd prefer that part of the world. Opinion on missing out on Ruben Amorim. We didn't miss out on him. We turned him down. There was no missing out involved. He tried to force Michael Edwards' hand, in my opinion, with his little jaunt over to have a chat with West Ham. And Michael Edwards did what Michael Edwards does, which is say you don't basically fuck with Michael Edwards. And I also, from what I've read and many great articles written about it, he was never the first choice. He was very highly thought of and he was certainly under consideration, but Liverpool got their number one target, Arne Slot. Now, you have to caveat that conversation by saying if Xabi Alonso was leaving Leverkusen, would he have become the number one target? There's probably a good chance that he would have. But if Liverpool wanted Ruben Amorim would be Liverpool's head coach right now. It wasn't down to the compensation. It wasn't down to money. It was about just a slight difference of a vision of how Liverpool want to play and the way that we are currently set up with a 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1 type system going right throughout the football club from the academy right up. The bigger question is, though, why have Ruben Amorim not been considered for any of the other jobs? Let's say Brighton, Chelsea, Bayern. They were positions that I would have expected his name to be in contention for as well. The biggest South American names will usually want La Liga over Prem if it's the same money because of the heat. Potentially. Same as well, there's a saying that a lot of African players grew up watching the Premier League, so their fondness would be to come to England and play in the Premier League. But the thing is, unless you're talking about Real Madrid or Barcelona, there is no comparables to the Premier League for a lot of South American players because the Premier League's the richest league in the world, and the average right throughout the Premier League clubs is higher that they're able to pay than mid-table clubs, let's say, in the likes of La Liga. So unless you're going in somewhere like a Real or a Barca, I think the money in the Premier League will be more enticing. Craig, all of Pep's disciples are shit. Kompany, Arteta, all bums. I mean, that's a little bit over the top. I think Arteta's done a good job at Arsenal. Still needs to win some proper trophies before, you really start talking about him as this real game changer there, but going in the right direction. Don't know enough about Maresca, to be fair. I'm absolutely baffled that Chelsea have given him a 5-year contract. when they gave Poch a 3-year contract, I think, or a 2-year contract. Madness. But let's wait and see what happens. Thank you, Craig. You read my comments every day. Love you, bro. Look, it's a pleasure. I'm here to read comments. That's what I'm here to do, and pass on a few bits of information that I might get, and certainly discuss the big topics of the day. One thing that I would like people to know about Anfield Agenda is we don't profess to be ITKs. We don't profess to be the most connected channel in the world. There are other people out there who would have their finger on the pulse far better than us. But what we do is, and what we would give ourselves credit for, is we go long and hard to try and root out the stories, bring them to you guys for a discussion. And sometimes I get information. For instance, somebody, when I met up with Davino the other day, Davino, when I met up with him in Wexford, when he travelled over from Boston, one of the first questions he had for me was, what happened with Bellingham? Because I told you before, I couldn't discuss it on a stream. What I was told was a reason why he went to Madrid, but I told him in person because these are the type of things I can't get in legal trouble for. So these are the type of stuff as well we discuss at live shows and stuff like that. But yeah, look, I love it. You guys make the channel what it is, and I'm not the most connected guy in the world, but I work hard. We try to find the news. I have a few connections. I've always said, for me, Germany, Spain, I'm easier to be able to garner information from my own little few contacts than the British journalists, of which I don't really have many contacts. You never read mine. I just did. Bada boom. Spill the beans, Davino lad. Look, he asked me, first thing he said, he sat down and he goes, I've got some questions for you. And I said, shoot. And he said, first one, the Bellingham thing. And I gave him his answer. And he went, So there you go. Zumzi, there you are. There you are. I was just talking about you a moment ago. I said I promised somebody yesterday I'd read out their comment, and I missed it. And I said to remind me today, and I'm a man of my word. So Zumzi, hit me. What was the comment? What was the question? I'm here for you, bro. I'm sorry I missed your comment yesterday, but I did promise you I'd look out for you today. Arne got Ten Hag shook. Yeah, he does. Ten Hag's getting real salty. Feyenoord weren't the best team in the Eredivisie. That was PSV Eindhoven. They were levels above everybody else. Alright, calm down there, Ten Lasso. Relax, mate. Relax. Nobody's trying to take the gravy off your plate. You won a trophy at United 2 years in a row. Everybody loves you, mate. You're brilliant. You're the bestest boy, Erwick. The bestest boy. You might also be getting your ass fired soon, but you're the bestest boy. Luis Guilherme would be a growth signing from Palmeiras. He would, and he's somebody who we've been linked with. There was a story doing the rounds a while ago. My dad's bigger than your dad. My dad's buried under the ground, mate, so wouldn't take too much. But honestly, and all jokes aside now, my dad was a big fucker. Like, my dad was a big fucker. But he's also brown bread, so I would say your dad probably is bigger than mine, because my dad's probably just a pile of bones under the earth at this moment in time. Where was I anyway? What was I talking about before that? I've honestly lost track of where I was going with that now. Sorry. Where was it? What was I missing? Oh, Guilherme. It was Guilherme. Yeah, there was an article saying that Liverpool had put in an offer of €20 million, but they wanted more. I think Fabrizio Romano came out and said, and again, I think I'm paraphrasing here, that the offer didn't go in, but that Liverpool do hold an interest in the player, albeit how strong that interest is, we're unsure. It doesn't matter what connections you got. We love the channel because of you. Been here since 15k or 20k. Thank you, Ian. Look, I love you guys to bits. Honestly, I found out a lot of stuff over the last week that's calmed me down a bit. I had this chip on my shoulder. I'm going to be honest with you. I had a chip on my shoulder because I felt like I'm pissing into the wind a lot of the time. We never get invited onto the podcasts, charity games, events, loads of other bits and pieces. And I kept thinking, what is it about me? What am I doing wrong? How am I rubbing people up the wrong way? Why is the door constantly being closed in our face? I'm not talking about the club here, by the way, when I'm talking about this. But I found out a couple of things over the past few weeks about who's connected to who and who's getting doors open for them and why. And it all makes sense to me now. And now I feel like I can just be myself. Because I'm chasing something that I can't now control. Because doors are being closed on purpose. So I just got to be me and enjoy my community and look forward. I did tell you guys that we wrote to the football club. I think I said this to you guys last week. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to read the letter out to you that we wrote to Liverpool, but we did reach out to Liverpool and say that, look, we feel that we try to act and talk and preach and conduct ourselves in the Liverpool manner and welcome people in and be friendly. And we think that a relationship between Anfield Agenda and Liverpool Football Club would be a good thing for our community and for all concerned. And yeah, unfortunately we haven't heard back yet. I may not hear back. That's okay. But I wish I could read you out the letter. Because Connor drafted it, and it's so beautifully crafted and so unbitter in its wording that I was so proud of Connor when he wrote it, and that's why I didn't write it, by the way. But it would be lovely to have some of those things. I'd love to be able to interview Arne Slot or Conor Bradley for you guys, because I don't care about meeting these people, but I'd love to be able to bring it to our community and do it in our own unique way. So fingers crossed that someday the club do reach out to us, or at least respond to us, because we like to try and unite Liverpool fans around the world. And I know I curse, and I know I can be a hothead at times, but I love the club dearly. I love the city of Liverpool dearly. But most importantly, I love my community and I love my audience more than you'll know. So I'll let you know if we know. And most people wouldn't tell you these things because they'd be afraid of being mocked about it. But we don't do these things for attention. We do them because we want to look after our community. And we want to do what's right. We want to project the right values about the football club and about what we represent as a channel. Craig, thoughts on Klopp crying yesterday? He got us all in the fields, didn't he? You know, he didn't understand why he got the big events, and he's such a humble guy. Like, he's an incredible human. He's an inspiring man. And he is just everything we would have wanted and could have asked for. I love him to bits and will always love him to bits. And again, for his wife Ula and their family, I thank them for the sacrifices and allowing us to have Jurgen for those 9 years. And I'm so proud, because Jurgen said something last night that really, really, really made sense to me. And that was, no other football club in the world would have done that. What happened last night with Jurgen. That's why Liverpool are different. That's why so many of us caught the Liverpool bug and fell in love with Liverpool. Because when Trent says things like it means more to us, it's something that gets ridiculed and laughed at, but it is more than just football. I know for me with Liverpool it's more than just football. It is that Scouse mentality, sense of humour, caring nature, and all those other things that drew me into Liverpool Football Club. And to hear Jurgen say that last night, that no other club in the world would have done this, I think he's right. But that's why we love Liverpool, isn't it? That's what makes it so special to us. Craig, remember when somebody said the police would get you if you swear? Yeah, and somebody said, I've reported you to YouTube for swearing. I know, it's mad. But I've tried to cut the swearing down and limit it in recent times as well, because I do take feedback on board. Craig, would you sell Salah, and who would you replace him with? Would I sell Salah? Yes, I would. Because I think it's the right time, Yusuf. Not because I don't like him. I think his best days are behind him. And I think with the contract situation, with his age profile, it's the right time to cash in. Who would I replace him with? It depends what the aim is. Do I want somebody ready to drop straight into the first team? If that's the case, I'm probably looking at Jarrod Bowen. You know, Jarrod Bowen's 27 or so, but if you could get him at a West Ham, I think he would be somebody for the here and now. You wouldn't probably get the resale value, but you'd certainly get a good few years out of him. Would allow the likes of Ben Doak, Trent Cone-Doherty, Cade Gordon and others to develop, and then we get to see if we have an academy solution to a longer term problem. And yes, I would. And look, I don't say I'd sell Salah lightly, because last year when Saudi were linked, I was saying no, don't sell Salah now. But this feels like the right year, and I don't like the idea of him leaving for free and the club missing out on that payday. It just doesn't sit well with me. Prediction for boxing. Got feeling the winner will fight AJ, then who wins out of AJ, Wilder, Zhang will have a shot for a title. So here's what I think, Harry, about the rematch between Usyk and Fury. Actually, it's not just about the rematch between Usyk and Fury. It's about these rematches in general. So Alexander Usyk went and won the first fight and is now undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. What I find really unfair is, if he loses the second fight to Tyson Fury, then Tyson Fury gets to walk off into the sunset with all the marbles and can pick and choose his next fights, and there's no contractual option for Usyk to wrestle it back. So it looks like it's like Fury gets 2 goes to become undisputed, and Usyk would have to win it twice to carry on. And it's not just in that fight. In all of these rematch fights, I find that very odd. I don't know how the rematch goes, because the first one was very close. I'd like Usyk to win it because I'm a fan of Alexander Usyk. But most importantly, I want to see all the fights you want to see. I want to see AJ Fury. I want to see AJ Wilder, if we can see that. I want to see AJ Dubois. I want to see all the heavyweight fights we all want to see. And hopefully we get to see them. And that was announced for 21st of December, by the way, for those of you who may not have been around for it. Hey Craig, what about... who's this? Kososonu? And Nkapie. I don't know who the first one is, Gino. In all honesty, mate. So, Nkapie in a heartbeat. Love him. But the chat believe Pacho is the best one, I think. Oh, no, they haven't. Sorry. I got that wrong. We do have a poll up at the minute, which you guys can still vote on. Would you want Nkapie or Pacho? I thought Pacho was going to win this poll, but so far it's 60% of you guys would rather Piero Nkapie and 40% for Pacho. We'll leave that running though, so you can keep voting. Congratulations as well to Virgil van Dijk, to Cody Gakpo and to Ryan Gravenberch, who have all been confirmed as being called up to the Dutch squad for the Euros. Brilliant for all three. I wish them all the best in the tournament, and it's great to see Gravenberch back involved there with the Dutch first team. Love this channel, Craig, and you, what a gentleman. Thank you, mate. I have my moments, Leighton, but look, I think the channel is just a reflection of all of us. A reflection of Connor, a reflection of me, a reflection of Ben, a reflection of our moderators in the community. We just don't want toxicity on our channel. That's the only thing. We put up with a lot, we'll have fun, we'll banter, we're self-deprecating, but we don't want toxicity, because I find it hard to enjoy the internet these days. I'm not on social media, and I come here for my connection to fellow fans. So the only thing we try to keep out is the toxicity and the stupid, shitty comments, because there's no need for them. We won't always agree, but we can discuss why we don't agree. So yeah, that's why we're so regimented on removing toxicity and comments from it. It's not what we want. It's not what we want for our corner of the internet, for our community. Craig, your love for Liverpool is great. My first game was 67. I was 7 years old, and I'm 67 years, always a red. Mate, there's just... It's mad, Paul, right? I've told my story before about why I started supporting Liverpool. And I don't know if I could have ever formed the same connection with any other football club. I'm sure I could have followed another football club, you know, but as I've gotten older and understood more about the background and the history of Liverpool and its value as a city and its connection to Ireland, it makes me feel like I want to support, defend and stand up for the city and its people even more, because I see a lot of similarities between Irish people and Scousers. And I don't know how the city looks at me or thinks about me. Local fans, I don't know if they hate me, like me, don't know why I exist or whatever. But you'll never hear me talking bad about the city, because I've got nothing bad to say. It's an incredible place that I would urge everybody to visit if they get a chance. And full of the most creative, supportive, proud people you're going to meet. I fucking love Scousers. And I hate seeing people denigrate them, talk down to them, or try to undermine everything that the city or the people hold dear. It is a different city. It has got a separate, different vibe from a lot of the UK. I think that should be embraced and not looked down upon. You know, I love the city, I love the people, and I love the football club as well. Euro too expensive for Liverpool. Malcolm, the offer gone in from Real Madrid, bro, was only about 26 million quid for Lenny Euro. Now, can somebody fill me in on Lenny Euro's contract situation? Because if Real Madrid are putting in an offer that low, I would have assumed that he's running low on his contract, because like 26 million quid is buttons if he's not coming in towards the last year or so of his contract. You know, because his market value, I'm sure, would be a lot higher than that. His contract ends next year, said Joshua. So if that's the case, then I can understand the low ball offer. But I feel it also gives others a chance to try and jump in ahead there. But Real Madrid are very crafty about knowing this. If a player wants Madrid, they're very crafty about making sure that they get their man eventually and for the right number. I'll give them that. So if Lenny Euro does have a year to go, I can understand absolutely why Madrid would be telling them to hold firm, be patient, and they'll get a deal sorted. So that's why I wouldn't be saying that I don't think it's the number that'll be too high for Lenny Euro. It seems like the offer there is quite low for Madrid anyway. Morganski said, Arne Slot, la 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 la. Arne Slot, la 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 la. My wife didn't even know that song, by the way, Opus Life is Life, when I said it to her. She looked at me like, huh? I thought everybody knew that song. What system does Slot prefer? He's played two systems mainly throughout his time at AZ Alkmaar and Feyenoord. A 4-2-3-1 and a 4-3-3. Both those systems have been utilised by Arne Slot. There will be a lot of similarities to what Jurgen does. Arne Slot also liked his fullback to tuck inside, and then the winger on the opposite side to the fullback often tucks in to provide an additional number 10 while they try to create an overload. Loads of stuff that I'm still getting used to. But we're not going to see a glaring difference. Pressing will be a little bit different. Build-up play will be a little bit more regimented, probably. For me, I just hope he can shore us up a little bit defensively, because we don't have a problem scoring goals. Hello, Craig. Great to be back here. We've had a discussion around who we would rather keep, Alisson or Kelleher. I don't think there's a discussion to be had there, Benjamin. I think the answer is Alisson, and I think everybody would say Alisson. I mean, let's poll. Let's poll it up, Benjamin. So we'll end the other poll where you guys have said you would like Hincapié over Pacho, 62%. I mean, I think if we did this poll, mate, it's going to be very straightforward, very simple, that the answer will be Alisson Becker. But happy to ask Ben to poll it. Alisson or Kelleher, who to keep, because it looks like one of them will be departing this summer. What I would say about Kelleher is, I'd love Liverpool to maybe take 5 million less and put a buyback option or a first refusal clause in there. I don't think Celtic could afford him, because I think Liverpool rightly will ask for about £20 million upwards for Caoimhin. Forest, I think, were another club linked with Kelleher. let's see what happens there. But I understand his thought process. You know, he's 25 now. He has developed in my opinion, one of the best goalkeeping destinations or coaching setups in world football, and has proven to us this season, when was called upon to step up for Alisson, more than capable of doing it. But all of that being said, Alisson Becker is the best goalkeeper in the world, in my opinion. So for me, it's not even a competition. The answer is keep Alisson. So yeah. But what Kelleher, I guess, does have over Alisson is a little bit more longevity. Alisson probably has, I'd say, at least 6 years left at the top level, whereas Kelleher, 25, could probably play for another 11, 12 years. Can you believe Kelleher only gets paid 10k a week? More than just that, it's the idea that he's the second choice keeper and the third choice keeper, Adrian San Miguel, gets paid more money than him. That's the one that got me. Yeah, that was the one that I found nuts. Ali is very injury prone, always capable of missing half a season. I'd rather keep Kelleher. So there is a concern for me around Alisson and a hamstring injury, because he has had a couple, and I don't know if these are one-off things or if there is, you know, something that's breaking down as he gets older. I don't know the answer to that question. So without knowing the answer to that question, I can only assume that he's all okay. But yes, I think the injury part is a fair concern. If Alisson leaves, who would you get? Well, Kelleher would be promoted, surely. But you'd like to think if Alisson left, you bring in somebody like... I'm trying to be realistic here. There's the keeper from Feyenoord, who's been looked at by Arsenal as well as Liverpool. Biglow, I think his name is. There's the keeper from Burnley, Trafford, who's probably going to move. I think Newcastle, most likely for him, from what I've seen. There's that kid Pattinson or whatever. I can never remember if it's Pattinson or Patterson. That's at Sunderland. But I wouldn't think... I don't like the situation of not knowing who your number one is. So that whole Ramsdale Raya thing at Arsenal for a while, I found very strange. You should, in my opinion, have a confirmed number one at your club and a good quality number two. Can't wait for the new season. Going to be a long summer, said Jay McDonald. If Alisson got 200 mil from Saudi and goes, that's the problem. Well, yes. And that is what we've said all along, Tanya. The more we start to hear stuff about not just Saudi's interest in Alisson, but the few bits about maybe him and his family wanting a bit of a warmer climate now, or I don't know. I don't know Alisson Becker and his family. I don't know how Alisson Becker feels about this point of his career. I truly don't know. So if his head was turned and he wanted to depart, it's mad, because look, let's be honest, he's better than Saudi. He's better than that level. And to see Ederson from Manchester City also being strongly linked with Saudi, that baffles me a little bit as well. The likes of a De Bruyne or a Salah, or somebody in towards the latter part of their career, I can understand it maybe, especially with Mo, with the cultural similarities and him being a massive, huge athletic profile in that part of the world. He'd be like a hero coming home nearly. Do I think we should have sold Salah rather than Mané? No. Because Mo wanted to stay and Sadio wanted to go. And that was, that wasn't our choice. Sadio wanted to go and Liverpool facilitated it. And it didn't work out for him. He went to Bayern Munich, and I remember some of the snidiness around the time from people from Senegal or others saying that he'll finally be appreciated now that he's gone to Bayern, blah, blah, blah. Well, he wasn't, and it didn't work out very well. And he ended up over in, El Nasser now, playing with Ronaldo over in Saudi. So it was his decision. So yeah, it's not like Liverpool just decided we're going to sell one, which one. I think Mané wanted to move. Benjamin said, the reason why I ask is I actually believe Kelleher makes less mistakes and can have those huge moments. What are the stats over the last 2 years? So the thing for Kelleher about me that I notice when he's in goal versus Alisson Becker is the physical presence isn't the same. You know, Caoimhin has amazing attributes, really good with the ball at his feet and can do a lot of stuff, but he hasn't filled out as wide, as big, as broad-shouldered, and isn't as imposing a figure as Alisson Becker to me. So maybe in the next few years that will happen with Caoimhin as he hits 26, 27, 28. Maybe he does grow into his latter adult body, I don't know. But that's the one major difference I see between the two, especially when you've got a one-on-one and Alisson comes out versus Kelleher coming out. It's just that physical presence of Ali as well. Marcus Kvaratskhelia said, I don't understand why Diaz wants to leave Liverpool. So I have to say that we don't know for a fact that he wants to leave Liverpool, but we do know of his desire to someday play for Barcelona, and we know that there's been a lot of links. Other than that, I don't know, mate. I'm somebody who's of the mindset of, I don't care who you are. If you don't want to be at Liverpool, and again, I don't know that he doesn't, I don't want you here. I don't want anybody at this football club that doesn't feel like this is a destination, that this is a career-defining club. Because it is. Make no mistake about it. One of the biggest football clubs in the world, and if you get to Liverpool Football Club, you have made it in life. You have made it as a footballer. I don't like people having eyes. I do have a little bit more time for people who maybe want to just broaden their horizons. So some players will go into their careers wanting a taste of Spanish football, a taste of Italian football, a taste of Premier League football. I get that. I can understand that. I don't feel that that's necessarily the case with Lucho. But others, I can understand it. Like Ronaldo, as an example, didn't he say he wanted to go and try and prove himself in multiple different leagues? Would I ever take Mané back? No, I wouldn't. Not because I don't like him, loved Sadio, but same with Bobby. Best days are behind him. You know, we have to move on as a club now. And that's why I also feel like new era under Arne Slot, refresh and revitalise the attack as well, and remove the last remaining part of that magic front three, the Mané, Salah, Bobby front three. I think the best days are behind all of them, and Salah's included in that. So loads of people coming in late, and I'm going to come to talk about Kvaratskhelia stuff in a second. There's just something that's been sent to me here now. So, this breaking from Transfer Sector said, the semi-automated offside system to be used by the Premier League next season will harness artificial intelligence and force fields to identify when attackers are ahead of defenders. And that's from Martin Ziegler of The Times. Yeah, I like semi-automated offside technology. I think it's much better than this, draw on the line, etch-a-sketch nonsense that we have now. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the PGMOL's officials fuck it up somehow, because I'm sure they'll find a way. What are we talking about? So yes, people were asking about Kvaratskhelia, right, which was the main title of tonight's stream. So the first thing I seen about this was yesterday evening. I seen a story starting to come out of Italy suggesting that Liverpool were interested in Kvaratskhelia, but I never want to just come to the table with one story. But these stories go back now as far as April. So in April, Gazzetta dello Sport's journalist claimed that Liverpool were among a couple of Premier League clubs who were interested in Kvaratskhelia. And now it's been suggested that it's almost a shootout between PSG and Liverpool to try and sign him. This piece that comes in from Gazzetta dello Sport now said that Paris Saint-Germain had claimed to have already made an €80 million or £68 million offer for the Georgian winger. This is according to the agent of the player as well, and Liverpool's name is the other one being mentioned. I don't think it's realistic unless we lost Diaz. And the chat didn't feel it was realistic either, or worth value, value for money. I still feel Kvaratskhelia is unproven. I can't get past that. I know he had patches of brilliance, but I want more than patches. And what happened last season, the season just finished with Napoli, he wasn't the same player for me, nor was Osimhen, nor was a lot of that Napoli team. Do I think Klopp is going into politics? It feels that way. No, not at all. I think a bit of punditry, a bit of media work, and enjoy his life, you know. I don't think he'd go into politics now. It's mad he's got 4 million Instagram followers already, though. That's class on his Kloppo account. Will they use red or yellow lightsabers instead of cards? Won't. I don't know. Again, I don't want the PGMOL's officials getting their hands on lightsabers either. I'd rather Somerville for 20 or 30 million than Kvaratskhelia for 80 to 100, said Joshua. Well, Joshua, we were discussing a little bit earlier on about the likelihood of Crescencio Somerville, and a piece I read earlier on shows that Chelsea are actually the bookies' favourite to sign him. Liverpool are in second place on the betting odds. Here it is here. So this piece said earlier on, Liverpool are currently considered the second likeliest destination for Crescencio Somerville. The Leeds United star could well move on in the coming weeks as Leeds face the unwanted prospect of selling star players to raise funds. The latest Sky Bet odds have Chelsea as favourites to recruit the Dutchman at 6-4, with Liverpool in at 10-3. So take from that what you want. It definitely doesn't signal 100% of anything, but betting odds are just basically who puts the money down and the odds shift. It doesn't necessarily translate into 100% someone's going to sign him, but I do think he leaves Leeds, and I can see why Liverpool would look, but my honest reply has always been I don't know enough about Somerville to know if he'd be good enough or not. I haven't watched enough of him. Is there a VAR vote in June? Yes, there is. Again, trying to remember the date. I want to say 6th of June. But there will be that vote, yes. I think it'll be defeated. I think the Premier League clubs will keep VAR. We discussed yesterday, and I'm going to try and find the link to this again so I can read it out to you. Bear with me while I scroll back through. You'll notice that I've slightly just stuck up the Belfast show link again there. 2 days to go. Just a little reminder. Where are we? Was it 2 days ago or 3 days ago? 1 second. No. Where was it? No, can't find it. Basically, the gist of the story was that some Premier League club owners, and I think they pinpointed out American owners, wanted more VAR scope to be broadened to include incorrect decisions for the likes of corners, throw-ins and stuff like that as well. Why would anyone pick Chelsea? Your guess is as good as mine, Gary. Yeah, I don't know, mate. I really don't know. Right, last poll of the night, Ben. Let's end this one. Give me 4 names, realistic names, for wide players that you'd like to see brought in. Let's go. Right, Ben, if you're listening, we'll go Kudus. I know he's more of a 10, but he can play wide, left or right. So Kudus, Somerville. Who was the other ones we were talking about? Kudus, Somerville. Bear with me, Ben. Kudus, Somerville, Bakayoko, and I'm trying to think of the realistic options. And Elise. So Kudus, Somerville, Bakayoko, Elise. Who are you having? And let's see what the Anfield Agenda audience wants. Let's see who the preferred target is. Because I know there'll be other people who say Kvaratskhelia, Mbappe, and all the other crazy links. But I think the four most spoken about are Elise, Somerville, Bakayoko, and who was the other one that I said a moment ago? Kudus. Yes, they're probably the four names that I get asked about or get brought up most in our chats. I feel like Nico Williams might end up at Barcelona, you know, because they need a wide player as well, and I feel like if they lose out on one of the other targets, Nico Williams could end up at Barca. So the poll is up, and thank you, Ben. Ben's played a blinder tonight in the background. We're going to make sure that we have a producer on for all of our evening shows now to make my life easier and hopefully to make the streams a bit smoother than me going with one finger. That's what she said. So who would you bring in out of these four? Kudus, Somerville, Bakayoko, Bowen. I definitely didn't say Bowen, by the way. I said Kudus, Somerville, Bakayoko, Elise. So we got to end that poll because it's not the right names. Kudus, Somerville, Bakayoko, Elise, please. Benjamin. Yeah, we're changing it. Don't worry. We're changing it. Can I repeat the Kvara news? I just literally repeated it 3 minutes ago. The reports in Italy suggest that Liverpool and PSG are battling it out for Kvaratskhelia. The report also said that PSG have already put in an opening offer of €80 million for the player, and that's pretty much it. But Liverpool's name has come across in 2 or 3 different pieces today. There you go. Thank you, Ben. Who would you choose? Kudus, Somerville, Bakayoko, Elise. There you go. Blame Ben. No, there's only one ever blame, and that's Mr. Crosby. We still have. Do we still have that emoji? Is the blame Connor emoji still around? Bowen won't leave West Ham. Well, he signed a 7-year contract last year, so it definitely makes it very difficult for him to leave West Ham. Although he probably should to move on because he deserves to play at a higher level than West Ham. With all due respect to West Ham. Elise strongly linked with United. I know that, Ben, but you got no money. Remember? That's the problem United have, mate. You're already offering redundancies to all the non-playing staff, trying to get rid of them. You've cut back money trying to, not lash out the FA Cup fine and give people a good day out and all. It seems like Radcliffe, and that's when he's not going around with the begging bowl trying to get money for the Wembley of the North. It feels weird. So I don't know if United have the money to spend on Elise at the minute. Although you did at least finally get rid of Martial, Ben, which must be a relief after 9 years of stealing a living. Is there a chance we sign a high caliber player such as a Musiala, or are we going for players that are a tier under him, Elise, Kudus, Bowen? So, no, I don't think we could sign Musiala, but an Archie Gray, who could be that, 2 years away from becoming a Bellingham, Musiala type player. There's been lots of chatter about Liverpool being interested in trying to sign Archie Gray from Leeds this summer. Now, for me, I still think even if you signed him, leave him at Leeds for another year to develop. But he will be a very, very hot prospect and highly sought after young midfielder in the next couple of seasons if he doesn't move this summer. Have I tried Flips chocolate pretzels? Of course. I've tried the milk chocolate ones. I've tried the cookies and cream ones. I've tried the salted caramel Flips. I think that the original milk chocolate ones are the best. Yeah, they're gorgeous. Flips are really nice. Then again, we've got to sell Mason Greenwood, Sancho, and maybe Anthony. Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest. Who's going to pay a lot of money for Anthony? I can't see him raising much money. Greenwood, to be fair, I could see him maybe staying in Spain or going to Italy and bringing in a few quid. Sancho's a weird one. If Ten Hag gets sacked at United, surely they have to bring Sancho back and give the new coach a new opportunity with him because he's shown that he's got it. We all knew when you signed Sancho he was a good player, but for whatever the fallout was at United, Ten Hag just did not handle that well. What's flips? They're pretzels that are covered in chocolate with a little bit of salt on them. Yeah, they're lovely. They're a really cool snack. If just have a Google of them, mate. They're lovely, and you can get them in Tesco and everywhere. I wouldn't mind Wirtz at Liverpool at some point. I think Wirtz is going to end up at Bayern Munich, in all honesty. I know Real Madrid have been linked, but they're already well stocked in that forward line. And Bayern Munich have made no secret of their desire to try and sign Florian Wirtz in 2025. I would sell Mason Mount, said Rachel. Again, who's going to want to pay anything for him? I'm so glad Liverpool didn't sign Mason Mount. Newcastle's Gordon, any thoughts? Yeah, really good player. Needs to stay on his feet a little bit more, but seems to really like it up in Newcastle. I didn't realise that Anthony Gordon initially came through Liverpool's academy before we released him, and he went to the Everton academy. I believe he's a Liverpool fan as well, but if the £100 million price tag is right, that's way too much money. Bruno Guimaraes was an interesting one as well, though. More pieces starting to come out saying that Liverpool do hold an interest in him. I just keep thinking the same things. Why do we allow these players to make that jump before we sign them? So, example, Kudus. Gone to West Ham. We knew all about him at Ajax. We're linked with him. Didn't move for him. He's shown he can do it in the Prem. Van Dijk. Brendan Rodgers was told by Gary McAllister about Virgil van Dijk when he was at Celtic. We didn't sign him. He went to Southampton for about 12 million quid, and then Liverpool ended up paying 75 million quid. So sometimes I do feel like I wish we just made that jump a year before, because usually we end up then having to come in. Like Inacio, another example. If we signed him, and I don't know if we will, we'll be doing it for 20 million quid more than we could have got him for last year, because he signed a new deal with an increased release clause. Haven't seen anything for Gray. How much would he cost? There's talk of about 40 to 45 million. And there's quite a bit written about Gray and Liverpool anyway. So I would check back and have a little look through. Ben said, swap Elise for Bone as Elise is nailed on for United. I don't think he is though, Ben. I don't think he is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Elise will. I think if he does go to United, he's making a terrible mistake. But let's wait and see. What happened to Kone? He's still at Borussia Mönchengladbach, as far as I know, Morganski. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, he's still at Mönchengladbach. Adam, welcome in, mate. Good evening. Euro, Isak and Kvaratskhelia will be a perfect summer for you lot, said Ben. Isak, I'd love. But you're talking about probably 250 million quid there, Ben. And I don't remember the last time Liverpool had a 250 million net spend season or summer. So unless John W. Henry really is opening up the old transfer budget, I don't think those names are too achievable. Would I take Santiago Jimenez at Liverpool? I don't know, but I have a piece from yesterday that I'll read out to you about Santiago Jimenez. 1 second. I definitely know I have this one, so I don't need to scroll back that far. He says as he scrolls. Right, here we go. So this says, Núñez has been heavily linked with an exit from Anfield. Fortunately for Liverpool, Slot and Dirk Kuyt already know a perfect replacement, Santiago Jimenez from Feyenoord. The 23-year-old striker, whose contract runs at Feyenoord until 2027, featured 30 times in the Eredivisie this term, scoring 23 goals and providing 6 assists. While Jimenez couldn't quite help Feyenoord retain their title as Dutch champions, he did help them get their hands on the Dutch Cup. Slot handed the Mexico international his breakthrough in Europe 2 years ago, signing him from Cruz Azul in Mexico. Jimenez worked closely with the Dutchman for 2 years, scoring 49 goals in 85 appearances across all competitions. In May 2023, Dirk Kuyt branded the Mexican as the best striker in the Netherlands. And speaking to ESPN, he said, He's back here in the middle of the defenders, and he's really fast, watching the keeper before he shoots. The rest, in my opinion, he is currently the best in the Eredivisie. So I don't know if Santiago Jimenez is ready or would be able to take that leap forward to Liverpool. It's so difficult to gauge bringing a player in from the Eredivisie to the Prem. Some of them have worked gloriously over the years. You know, you look at Luis Suarez coming to us, Van Persie coming in. Others have fallen on their backside. I'm looking at Anthony. Hi, Ben. And a couple of others in recent times. So, I don't know, is the honest answer. But I do know I like the name, Santiago Jimenez. Definitely sounds cool. Do you think we need Kvaratskhelia? No, I don't. I'm not convinced on Kvaratskhelia. Certainly not at that price tag. Right, my friends, we're only 20 subscribers away from 261,400, and we're really close to 700 likes as well. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do, and don't forget to drop a like. We've got about 15 minutes left on tonight's stream. The poll that we currently have running is, who would you choose? Kudus, Somerville, Bakayoko or Elise? Over to you. And so far, I'm surprised. So far, with over 500 votes, it is Mohamed Kudus who tops your list. I have to say, I'd probably be on Elise in this if I was voting, but I do like Kudus. Craig, just catching the end of the stream off to work. I live in Australia, but I always watch the streams. The best Liverpool fan content. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you taking some of your time, mate, to come watch us before you head off for work. And I hope to catch up with you soon, bro. Appreciate you. Off topic, but are you aware Liverpool are the third richest football club in the world, ahead of Man United, Barcelona in the official Deloitte Money League? We should be taking advantage in the market. I've seen a few things thrown around from the likes of Deloitte and stuff in recent times. When you say richest, in what sense? Because we definitely don't have the richest owners, but if you're talking about money generated, wouldn't surprise me. FSG have done a very good job in that regard in raising Liverpool's commercial partnerships and bringing in money through the doors. But I've also seen that we're like the fifth most valuable football club in the world as well, from what I remember. I think just a tiny bit behind Barcelona. Wharton from Crystal Palace, thoughts, said Anuraj. I'm kind of late to the whole hype train around him, mate. I only really started to notice him at the end of the campaign, so I can't really give you an in-depth answer on him, unfortunately, but looked decent enough from what I've seen. But Palace have done some great business in recent times. Jimenez or Gyökeres if we sell Darwin. I don't know which one, because I honestly haven't watched much of either of them. Yeah, sorry mate, I wish I could give you a better answer. I'd sell Isak would be the answer if we lost Darwin. Personally, I'd like to go for Isak, but I don't want to lose Darwin. What links have linked Darwin with a move? I haven't seen any since the photos were taken down. Not saying you're wrong. Well, I'm reading from an article, mate. So when I was reading that article, that was not me saying Darwin's been heavily linked with a move away. This was an article written, and I was simply reading it out. Let me see if I can remember which one it was. 1 second. I want to say it was in the Echo. And again, I'm not saying that the Echo are saying that Darwin's up for sale. But the piece does start off with, nevertheless, Núñez has been heavily linked with an Anfield exit. So again, not my words, bro, just reading out the article. Why don't you want Kvara? I haven't seen enough consistency, personally, to make me feel like he would be worth the significant outlay that we'd have to put down for him. And I'm open that I could be wrong on this, mate. You know, who asked me the question? Ben. I'm open that I could be wrong on it, Ben. You know, I just haven't seen enough consistency in what I've seen of Kvaratskhelia. I've seen the moments, the highlight reels, but you want to be doing it week in and week out, and I'm unsure. I'm unsure. But then again, I was unsure about Gravenberch. And then very quickly when we signed him, I realised, oh, now I can see it. And some people want to move Gravenberch on now, and I'm definitely not one of those. What's this one says? Liverpool like Levi Colwill. Arne Slot is chasing a versatile left-footed defender, but Chelsea want the 21-year-old academy graduate to stay this summer, contract until 2029 with option of a further year. I mean, I've seen a few of those links as well. I think for me, our best chance at signing Levi Colwill ended last summer when he signed that new deal at Chelsea. I kind of put it out of my mind since that, but again, would have no problem if Liverpool could sign him. Okay, Craig, thank you. Sorry if I sounded rude. No, man, all good. All good, Stephen. I know you around long enough, mate. You don't have to appear to sound rude to me, mate. If I think you're being rude, I'll say it. But I know you aren't, mate. No problem. Is it time for FSG to sell up? No, I don't think so. It's weird these days with football clubs, right? Because what are you going to get if you sell the football club? You're either going to get another investment firm who's going to come in, you're going to get a billionaire from somewhere, or you're going to get a state-backed fund. The days of, like, let's say, local businessman done good buys football club. Football clubs are so valuable now, it's very difficult for any one individual to be able to finance and run a football club. So what I would like from FSG is more transparency on certain things, no more running off to join the Super League, and a bit more money for the manager and net spend. Because they've done a lot of good stuff. You know, I just think they're tight. And I think that they love to tell us how great the club have been about increasing commercial activities and all. But again, I still want Liverpool to be more... I'm not saying we need to be wasting money in a transfer market, but if we can agree on the fact that we've got a very clever recruitment team and we've got people who know the value of money and know the value of spotting a player, I want us to act a bit more and make one or two of these real statement signings. Like, we are here to mean business. Arsenal brought in Declan Rice. That's a statement. Like, nobody going to tell me that if we didn't sign Declan Rice, we wouldn't have won the Premier League this year, because I feel we would have. That's the type of thing I'm talking about. And we did it with Van Dijk and Alisson, but we did it because we sold Coutinho. And I'm open to that, which is why I talk about the Salah situation. Sell Salah for 100 million quid and use that to bring in a 22, 23-year-old and pay top dollar. Do I like the new jersey? No. I think the colour's an abomination. I hate Nike and everything that they've done with Liverpool pretty much. I think the jerseys are getting ridiculously expensive. I think the crossover stuff with LeBron has been terrible. I think I just don't like them. It doesn't feel natural for me. It doesn't feel a natural fit. When I think of Liverpool, I think of Adidas. And I can't wait for Adidas to be back. And yeah, I've never been able to really take... It doesn't look right to me seeing Nike on a Liverpool shirt. It doesn't look right. And this 45 degree or 90 degree, tick that's going to be on the away shirt is an abomination as well. I'm sure you've all seen it. The rumoured away shirt that's white and red with this 90 degree flipped Nike tick, which just looks like somebody shit the bed in the factory. And then the third shirt for this year, again, I think they've lost their damn mind. Tell me that you guys don't agree with this statement. There have been so many amazing designed football shirts by fan designers out there that have made some football shirts that would sell off the shelves and break records. And I often wonder why football clubs don't do that. Like, let's say the third kit every year is designed, and I know there's a lead time up to it that has to be increased, but some of these fan designs have been amazing. For instance, I have a football shirt upstairs that I bought, which was the centenary shirt that was picked for by, what was their name again? Atletico Mineiro. It was designed by their fans and was put to a popular vote, and it won. And it's an amazing shirt. It's a Lecoq Sportif one. Got it all the way over from Brazil. It took ages to get it to arrive, and it's an amazing thing. And I've seen so many fan designed shirts that are incredible, and then you see the shite that Nike come out with. It baffles me. Like, it's so lazy copy and paste that I just don't like it. I much preferred New Balance before Nike came on board. I was expecting a lot more from them. Nike, really disappointing, said Michael. Look at PSG and the Jordan gear that they have. That is how you do a crossover. That is how you sell merchandise. The Liverpool stuff has always felt lazy to me, and uninspiring. Now, I'm not saying they haven't had one or two decent shirts. They have. But I just don't like Nike. I just don't think they're right for Liverpool. The map one, yes, Gumi, that's the one. The map one, yes. That's the Atletico Mineiro shirt I have upstairs. Tag still on it. Will probably never wear it, but just wanted it for my collection because I thought it was an amazing shirt. Lads, we're up to 722 likes. Can we, if you take a sec, we can get a 1,000 like stream up, and we haven't had one in ages. So if you have a second, please do hit that like button. And don't forget as well, 15 away from the next 100 subscribers. Right, my friends, I'm going to say goodnight to you guys. It's been a 2-hour stream. I've really enjoyed it. Loads of fun tonight. Tomorrow, it will be 8:30 as normal. Remember, Friday, no stream because Belfast. So if you want to come and see us in Belfast, you can get your tickets on Ticketmaster. 2 days to go. Tomorrow, we'll be live again at 8:30. And then on Friday, we'll be putting out a couple of videos while we're up in Belfast for you guys to watch, and then we'll be back for a Champions League final watch along on Saturday. We'll be watching Borussia Dortmund, Real Madrid at Wembley right here. Hope you can join us for that one as well. Thank you, as always, for giving up some of your night to come and have a chat with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you to Ben for all his help in the background, our moderators as well. Love you guys to bits. Thank you for all of your support, and I'll talk